Glad as I can
Can
be, I
be.
put my arms around
Oh,
Kurt's
yeah.
neck
Take it.
and climb upon his knee. Hey, it is a crossover episode. It
Crossover.
is This Week in Mormons. It is The Cultural Hall. It is Kurt Frankham.
From This
It
Week
is
in
me,
Mormons.
Richie T. You know, technically, I think you own This Week in Mormons. I know that technically, actually, but I don't know that I would say from This Week in Mormons.
Oh, yeah.
I think when I was introducing you, I feel like I should have said, and you know this guy from Leading Saints.
Yeah, I noticed that on the last episode, or that I listened to anyways, with Verlin. You said, oh, I'm doing a crossover with Kurt from Leading Saints, and I'm like, what? I mean, Twim doesn't get any love?
No.
No. Okay.
Should I have lied about that? Should I have been a little different? Should I
That's all right.
say that
Hey,
differently?
Leading Saints is my day job. That's the one that pays the bills.
Sure.
And This Week in Mormons is the one that creates the bills. So.
Yeah.
So
my wife is the one I love. The kids are the ones that make
Yeah.
it so Dad has to go to work.
That's right. How are you, Richie?
Well, I'm excited to be with you. A lot on the agenda. Let us not digress.
Wow, we got a lot.
Well,
So much
here's
news.
the deal. I haven't even told you about Nadine. This
You've been teasing me with
episode-
Nadine. I don't even know she exists.
Well, you will now. And I need you to listen to this story, and I need Nadine, because I know she's going to listen to this. I need Nadine to know, Nadine, this episode is for you. This is dedicated for you.
Love you, Nadine.
Yeah. So now let me tell you who Nadine is.
Okay.
About a couple weeks ago, I guess, less than a month, more than a week, I was at a wedding. And there's a big crowd of people, and I'm telling people, hey, we're going to be doing something. I can't remember if it was we were moving towards dinner or whatever, but I see this woman. Now, Nadine tells me that she's one age. I'm convinced she's not a day over 30 years old, but she has the name Nadine, so know that I'm lying to make her feel better.
You know, that's the thing, is these grandma names are coming back. We got a Bernadette in our ward that's a few weeks old.
A Bernadette?
Bernadette.
Yeah. Oh, no, I love it. I love it.
Love it.
Bring me your Ferns and your Mavises.
Yeah.
But you have two ages that those people can be. Barely born or not at all barely born.
Yeah, because by the time you're 30, you've worked out some type of, nickname or some form of the name that sounds a little more hip and cool.
Yeah. Nadine, very hip, very cool. I make this announcement at this wedding, and I see this woman from across the room, a very large wedding venue room.
You're going to say a very large woman across.
Yeah, no.
Okay, all right.
No. In fact, I'll send you a picture. She is a very well kept, or I always wonder if it's kempt. It's one of those. I can't remember. There's an M, I think, in some cases.
Way to take care of yourself, Nadine.
Yeah, Nadine is taking care of herself. She's very sweet, and I see her from across the room light up. Like fangirl Benson Boone with his sweet mustache just jumped off a piano.
You get that all the time.
Attractive. Now you'll have to tell all of your hosts who Benson Boone is so that they can
it's like,
know when they talk about it. Jeez. But she flies across the room. Are you Richie? Are you from the cultural hall? Richie, right? Richie? And I said, wow, yes, I am. Now, she is the grandmother, I believe, of the groom at this wedding. And
so Nadine is a grandmother with a grandmother name. Okay.
Yeah.
But very well taken, well kept.
I think, very early kids, and then her kids followed suit and had kids very early. Grandmother by like 32. Most of Utah County, it's fine. And
no judgment.
And it's not actually true, so there doesn't have to be judgment or not judgment, so it doesn't matter.
Where's this going? All right, here we go.
And in a way that I can only describe as very flattering, I think that she cared a lot, and I think that people that she told cared not at all. Do you know who this is? It's like that scene from Jurassic Park where it's like, we got Dotson here. We got Dotson. Nobody cares.
Nobody cares. You see? Nobody cares.
But Nadine cared. And she cared a whole lot. And she said, you and Kurt Frankham, really good together.
Right.
And you need to do that more often. And so I said, I said, Nadine, and I think that's even the day that I reached out to you and I said, when are we doing news again? Because I followed what Nadine told us that we needed to do. Nadine, I will make that happen. So this episode, there's only one in the world for me, a fangirl. Her name is Nadine, but I will take it. Nadine, this episode from Kurt and I to you.
We love you, Nadine.
Yeah.
We love you.
I like to call her Deanie behind her back.
Deanie?
Deanie.
Yeah. Was it Nadine Wimmer from
No,
KSL News?
no. Although she is a Nadine and she goes by Deanie. Deanie.
Yeah. Deanie. Yeah. Can we
No,
call you
but
Dee Nadine?
very, very sweet. Yeah, you could be a Dee if you're Nadine as well.
Yeah.
Nads. You could be Nads, I suppose. It depends.
Oh, we use that word a little differently in junior high, but you know.
Oh yeah. You got hit in the nads. Is that what you're saying? Yeah.
You know,
See,
that Boy Scout camp.
Yeah. Oh sure. When you stay up all night because your mom bought you $50 worth of candy for one night when you're away from home.
So good.
Let me ask you, but nicknames for you, like all growing up, I was a Rick and I'm now a Richie and then a Richie T and then a Richie and then I kind of vary there. I call you Curtis, which you always go, it's not Curtis.
It's not
almost
Curtis.
as a reflex.
No, it's not on the birth certificate. No.
But have you been Big K? Are you Circle K? Are you Curdy McCurt?
I've gotten Curdy a little bit from some of my beloved aunts.
Okay.
Or aunts for those on the East Coast. I don't know. I didn't really have one. I mean, yeah. So
you strike me as a non-nickname guy.
A few years I went by Elder. That was kind of fun for a few years.
That what? But strangely enough, not while you were on your mission. So that was that was weird. It was just because he was super strict.
That was weird.
They called me Bishop. Hope to be able to get to do that again someday. If anyone,
I'm actually president right now. I don't know if I've mentioned that.
Elders Quorum president.
Elders Quorum president. That's
right. Yeah, we don't. We're taught not to aspire, but I don't know why. I think it's perfectly fine.
I'm filling out the applications. Sure. I want the power. I want the decision making.
Gross. I have no interest in that at all. 0%. And everyone always follows that up with, well, then you'll be the next one to call. And I look at them and I go, oh no, I know I'm not the next one.
Down here in Utah County, there's a lot of people called to, the BYU wards, right?
Sure,
there's a ton of these YSA wards, which means you can really call anybody, right? To be in your bishopric or whatever.
I'm not driving to Provo.
I do have this fantasy of being called as a BYU bishop and being like, oh, I know who my first counselor is, Richie T.
I don't think you can do that. I'm out of county.
Well, we would make an exception. I know some people. Okay,
but in all seriousness, for all the garbage that I give you about it, if that's what you want, I hope you get it.
Yeah. Well, these are fun gigs, okay, and it's sort of it's become my, leading saints. I'm in this leadership world a little bit too closely.
Sure. So now you need to get out of it. You need to be able to experience it more. What do you mean by that?
Well, I would say the quality of the content of Leading Saints does go up several points when I'm actually in a leadership calling, because I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot that everything's on fire. Plenty to talk about. Wow. So.
Nope. I'm still just a teacher. A teacher I shall remain. A teacher I will be. That is where I'm at. I will never.
Have you taught recently? Did you do the chair thing?
It's been a hot minute. I'm an Elders Quorum teacher right now.
Yeah.
It's been a minute. Church and me right now. Everyone, here we go. Here he is. He's not. Oh, gosh.
Load your judgment guns. Here we go.
No, the problem with church right now is that I have late in the afternoon church. And I work a lot on Sunday. And so it's like, go to a different ward. And people are like, hey, how's it going? I mean, I say people, there are 2 people that have messaged me at all in the 6 months where I haven't been able to attend very often. Yeah. And so part of me has hardened my heart and go, people don't care.
Oh, they're like that non-member wife finally got him.
Yeah. He's out. Or they'll say things like, oh, good. We don't have to deal with comments that make us feel. We'd like to just come and sit and then be able to leave unaffected 2 hours later.
Pass the white slips around. Everybody take a turn. Let's do it.
What's a white slip?
You pass the white slips.
For the paper. Yeah, as the reading. 100%. 100%.
Yep.
I have not. They have not asked me to teach again since Churchgate 20. No, I'm just joking.
Since your parole officer had to come with you to church.
Yeah. People lost it. Now, I want to let all you TWIM listeners know, I gave Kurt the opportunity to have me do some of this stuff.
If we're going to cross over, we're going to cross over, okay?
But yeah, all right. I'm sharing now a review of the Cultural Hall. It seemed like that might be
Oh,
inappropriate,
well, I might as
but
well pull up the reviews of This Week in Mormons.
this is one
Go
that
ahead.
just came in. Did one just come in?
Stand
If
by.
no, it didn't. If did one just come
I need
in?
my twin listeners to unite.
Yeah, get behind it.
Yeah. Let's
This
see.
email
Okay.
or this review, I should say, is from the Tiger. It says Richie brings in great interviews, talking with a wide variety of views in and out of the church, being serious, being fun, and doing all of the things to be thought provoking. He and his co hosts also do so well together. Kurt, that's you. And he has such a great variety of voices to play off of. Definitely worth listening to this show in podcast form.
Hmm.
Thank you, the Tiger. That is a review. We always share all the reviews that come in. You can make that a part of a future show. If you leave a review wherever you get this episode, please do so. We share those.
How many
New?
reviews you got, Richie?
I don't know.
It doesn't
Let me
say, right?
look. How many reviews do you have?
158.
Okay.
1,000? No, 158.
Let
Yeah,
me
this
look.
one, our most recent one came in March 5th. It
Okay.
says Saints in Hollywood episode with Isaac. ...
Oh yeah, that was a good episode.
And it says that's the review. Check that one out. Okay, I got to read these two because you're a terrible person and don't like my co-hosts or my.
Okay.
Love the Twin Sisters.
Okay. I
Twin
see.
Sisters are great. It says lots of fun energy. Wish they were on more often.
Sure. Of the co-hosts, I like the Twin Sisters the best.
Oh yeah. Well,
Yeah.
guess what? Our audience also loves the Twin Siblings. This came in from Rachasha85. I enjoy the fun energy of the new sibling hosts Matt and Melissa. Especially love their interview with Patrick Mason. They ask really thoughtful questions, and it made for great discussion about the youth in the church and the real issues that are important to them. Looking forward to them more often. That was by actually it's from Richie T from Taylorsville. I don't know.
It's not true.
Yeah.
I like this one. Now I'm flipping over, and I encourage you to do this because I think this stuff is funny. Flip over to your most critical.
I got this one. Oh, you love this, Richie. It says insanely poor taste. Did you really think that BY Jew was acceptable? Shame on you.
That's what someone said?
Yes.
That's hilarious.
And let me tell you, I've interviewed on Leading Saints. I interviewed because this is in reference to Jake Ratzliff.
Yes.
May his legal problems be figured out. But
I'm telling you, just to double
the person
down,
I've interviewed on Leading
Saints. Hold on.
Yep, what?
I'm doubling down. I'm telling you, he's playing in the fall. He's playing in the fall.
He's playing? All right.
He will throw a ball on the field this fall for BYU. Go ahead.
Anyways, I interviewed Jake Ratzliff's rabbi on Leading Saints, and his rabbi is the one who nicknamed him BY Jew. Okay, so it's not some slur we're on here, but so incredibly appropriate because his rabbi made it up.
Yep. So I went and clicked most critical, and can't get through an episode is what the review is called. I tried to listen, but it's so dumb. If you like hearing two of the most stereotypical Utah members talking about nonsense and using phrases like, that's just so sad, after they read random Deseret News headlines, then this is the podcast for you. It's mindless. That was 2019.
Yeah,
Back
I got
in
one
2012, I feel at one time this was a good podcast. I no longer listen. I personally would like the old host to start her own podcast. I feel this podcast stinks. Move along. That was when...
we have one that says, used to be good. Thanks, Zach. Don't waste your time. Once upon a time, this was my favorite podcast back when Al and Jeff were the hosts.
Yeah, yep.
Once Jeff turned it over to Kurt, it became dismal at best.
Yeah.
Well, hey, you know what? Richie and Kurt are on the scene. All right?
Yeah. Wait, I think that was actually my review.
Oh, okay.
I gave him a hard time. Jeff Openshaw no longer in the bishopric, wishing him the best of luck. I said, going back to Twim, he said, not a chance.
Unbelievable. Yep. Unbelievable.
So should we get to, are we doing news? What else do we have? Is there other stuff that we need to get to before we start this thing?
I think that was it.
If I can take serious things and share them in a light manner so that I can deal with them and begin to process them. My dog may be dying right now.
Oh no, Robert?
Oh yeah. He had a terrible night and he's in incredible pain, and we're hoping that the medication that we have will get him to relax, but I just watched him fall over multiple times as he went to the bathroom this morning, and it has
Man.
gutted and destroyed me.
Oh, man. Sheesh. We asked Nadine to pray for Robert.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
and if people believe in that, I think here's the deal. I'm what I don't want to be, and what many dog owners are, and what I refuse to be, is that dog owner that's like, sure, he's got one leg and can't move without me carrying him, but he's still alive and still with me. I refuse to be the guy that's
Yeah.
like, keeping him on for me. I hope that he continue. He'll rally. I think he'll rally. I pray that he'll rally. But
Yeah.
what I have committed to is that I'm not going to be a selfish dog owner that's like, that dog should have been put down a long time ago. I'm keeping him alive for me. I want to, if he can be comfortable and live a good life, I'm doing it. Otherwise,
Yeah.
we figure
How
out the
old is
next part of
Robert?
life. We don't know because
Oh, yeah.
he's a rescue, but they
Yeah.
think maybe about 10-ish. But it could be, they're like anywhere from like 8 to 16. It's like, okay, wait, that's a wide spread.
Yeah.
The other thing about that, the same feelings that I have about my dog are the same feelings that I have about me. So let it be documented that if, in fact, I do not have a good quality of life and I fall over, etc., I wish for someone to just put me down, please and thank you.
Wow.
I'll
Wow.
move to the
This,
appropriate state where it's legal and you don't face the ramifications. But let's just get that done. Hold my hand, tell me that you love me, scratch me behind my ears, and then just send me off. It's fine. I promise you, God will think it's fine. I promise you, all of the things that we have stigmatized around it, it's fine. Just let me go so that I
wow.
just am like, I lived and then I died.
Well, this kind of went dark,
Yeah.
Richie.
Yeah. Yeah. What's new with you, Kurt?
What's well, my dog is happy and healthy.
I didn't know you had a dog.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
don't
I got a
strike me as a
golden.
dog guy.
Oh, yeah, totally. Golden retriever.
Okay.
You get it for the kids. They promise to do all the things, and then you end up doing it. So, but yeah, when that, she's 3, I think 3, 4. So, but when the day comes, oh yeah, I will ugly cry with snot coming out my nose,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's gonna be no bueno. So,
Interesting they talk about that. So growing up, I had a dog. His name was Tyson. I only have male dogs with male names, not
like
dog
very
names.
normal
Yeah,
American male names.
yeah, yeah. I've never had like a Fruffles or whatever. The death of my first dog so hard, I could not go and be
Yeah.
like, the idea of him not being around,
Hmm.
could not do it.
How
So
old were
I
you?
went and I said goodbye to him, told him that I loved him so very much and all of the things. And he was probably like 14 or 15, had
Oof.
diabetes and had to be given insulin shots a couple times a day, all these things. And said goodbye to him. And all of my family felt particularly wrecked by this. So my stepdad, who had been my stepdad for like 3 years, he barely even knew the dog really in comparison. He's like, so you're making me do it? I have to go and have this dog. Like, he was the one that went and took care of it because all the rest of us were like, we can't do it. Can't do it. Cannot do it.
Why do we get these animals? Because they
I
bring
can tell you
such
why.
joy. But man,
He is my only friend, just like the t-shirt says that I got his face put on. My only friend, Robert. And then it's a
well,
big
I
old
mean,
picture of his face. I wish I was wearing it right now.
according to Nadine, we're friends.
Well,
So
sure, sure.
mhm.
Everyone thinks we're friends.
Yeah, I mean, if they only knew the
uh,
vitriol we share.
in the cultural hall, we take a break and then we come back with articles of news. Should we do that?
Let's do it.
All right, we'll be back in the second half with actual articles of news. Let me take just a moment to tell you all about bestdjinutah.com. That is the website where you can learn all about me. Oh, sure, you probably feel like you know me, but you know me in the cultural hall sense. I have a DJ company, now 6 of us strong, great event hosts, MCs, and DJs that can be able to make whatever event you have coming up absolutely spectacular, and hope you will reach out to us. Now you're thinking, well, wait a minute, Richie, I don't live in Utah. Would you travel? Absolutely, I would travel. Would they travel? Absolutely, they would travel. Whatever your event is, doesn't have to be a wedding or a community event. We can do all sorts of things. I can teach you line dancing. I can dance with you. We can do partner dancing. We can do all kinds of things, but we can't do any of it if you don't hit me up. You can go to bestdjinutah.com. You can fill out the form to get more information or get a quote, and then I will get right back to you. Find out why I'm so busy and why sometimes we don't get episodes of the Cultural Hall. It's all because of bestdjinutah.com. here in the second half of Articles of News. We do those actual articles of news. Hit it, Peter Breinholt. This is where I play music from Peter Breinholt. For those that are listening on TWIM, there is the narration.
You can't lose Articles of News.
And away we go. Now, I did not end up recording with another co-host of mine, so you have the full spread of news. Take us wherever you would like.
Where do I want to go? Well, I feel like the biggest story of the week is the LDS Historical Department publishes an 1886 polygamy revelation. I mean, what more do we want than more polygamy? I mean, there's just not enough. So, on June 14th, the Church History Department of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints released the original 1886 revelation on plural marriage attributed to President John Taylor. The handwritten document, long discussed among historians and fundamentalist groups, addresses the new and everlasting covenant and asserts that such commandments must be obeyed unless revoked by divine authority. The Church's publication of the document, which had previously been denied or unacknowledged, is significant for both transparency and historical research. The release includes high-quality scans, transcriptions, yada, yada. So, yeah, basically this lost, hidden, or not-so-hidden revelation is made public, and basically John Taylor saying, we're never getting rid of polygamy. And then Wilford Woodruff is like, well, we'll see about that, right? So, any thoughts on this?
A state.
What's that?
I say, we need to be a state.
That's right.
So listen, what does it need to say? I mean, that's what critics will say. Now here. So I know that you don't think that this is a very big story.
I said it was the biggest story of the week.
Well, I know, but you have also said not very many news stories this year. I can't believe there's not anything. So to me, I think that there are kind of a couple stories within this story that I think are significant. So it's deemed as a revelation that John Taylor has.
Thus saith the Lord.
Hey, polygamy is here. Polygamy will never not be here. And this, in many respects, as far as I understand it, is where a lot of people, when the church gave up polygamy and then they said, hey, that's not the way that it should be, we're going to go and have our polygamous sex and break off, and here it is. Like, this is foundational, that this is where they said, yeah, guys, thus saith the Lord, here we go, we followed this. So I think it's significant as far as that goes.
Well, and I don't think, because the way I understand it is John Taylor wrote this or received this revelation, wrote it down about 9 months before he died, and then but he didn't do anything with it. He kind of hid it away. It was in his papers, and then years later, when his son John W. Taylor was an apostle, he believed deeply in polygamy even after the 1890 manifesto or whatever. He continued to marry additional wives and also perform plural marriages. And so as a member of the Quorum of the 12, they didn't like that. So they're like, hey, listen, buddy, stop doing that or you're out. And he's like, no. And in fact, I've got this revelation. So I don't think it was really well known at all by the general church until this moment. And then they're like, wait, what is this revelation? Where'd it come from? Looks valid, but not, I don't know if it's valid. And then away it went, right? So
yeah, that's giving a lot of credit. So I would say, I mean, maybe they go, oh, we don't know if that's real, but also to me at least, in part, in the retelling, in the several retellings that I've seen about this, it feels like it's this. Hey, Kurt, did you just drink from a thing, a glass, a carafe? What is that called?
A mug?
A mug? Hey, Kurt, did you just drink from a mug? No, I didn't. I didn't drink from a mug. No, Kurt, I'm pretty sure you just drank from a mug. Nope, there was not a mug. There, you can't find a mug. I mean, I know you think that I drank from a mug, but I didn't. I didn't drink from a mug. Kurt,
right?
Be straight with me. I think we both know you drank from a mug. Nope. And then, later today, you put out a social media post with no sort of context that's like, I drank from a mug. And that's it. And that's what it feels like to me.
Yes. Sure.
It's like, no, there's no revelation. Guys, no revelation. There was no revelation. Uh, we saw that. We know it. We heard about it. Nope. There wasn't. There
It's
wasn't.
not in our historic library. It's actually in a different building. But yeah, it's not in our library.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, yeah.
to me the side story that now everyone hear me loud and clear. I'm not like there was an 1886 revelation and you guys didn't tell me about it here. Accept my resignation and I'm out. But I don't care for when people, and I don't think anyone cares for it. That's why I don't think that you're being honest when you're like, it's the biggest story, but it's not a big deal. Why wouldn't we just say, yes, this exists and we don't know what to do with it and be able to put it in context? But yes, it exists. Why do we exist from this place of nope, 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 nope? Oh yeah, totally. Yeah,
Yeah.
it exists.
Yeah,
I
I
want
mean,
I want it to be more integritous. I have a hard time. I have a
so
hard
so
time with that.
so in a perfect world, tell me what this looks like. Like the first presidency comes out, they like have a press conference, and they're like, "Listen, this was found. However, it wasn't ever validated by the church or voted on through the law of common consent, and so
Sure.
it is what it is. But yeah, as far as where we're going, we sustain everything that Wilford Woodruff did and all that yada yada. I mean, what does that look like?"
I mean, maybe for something like this, because it's
Hmm.
John Taylor, I think that it's significant enough. Now, here's the deal: 99% of the church doesn't care about it.
Right.
Maybe 90%, right? I
Hmm.
mean, I think that probably more of the church would care, church membership would care that it's like, no, 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 it doesn't exist. Yeah, it exists. Like, I think as a principle, I think
Hmm.
they probably care more about something like that. But assign that to whatever the thing may be. It doesn't need to be about this historical thing. If they said, no, we're not using tithing for this. No, we're not using tithing for this. And then 10 years from now, they're like, oh, yeah, no, guys, we totally use tithing for this. We'd all go,
Hmm.
wait, for so many years, you told us you weren't using tithing for this, but you were. Why did you
Right.
tell us that you weren't?
And
I
usually it's
just,
followed with technicalities, right?
sure,
Well,
sure,
it's not
sure.
exactly right. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
I, I, I don't know why in like my belief right now, but like I have shifted in the last like 5 years where I'm treating like my relationship with the church is like a relationship with another person. I don't know if this is the right place to be. I hope so. I hope I read to the
I
end
think
and the
so. Yeah.
story ends well. But I'm like, if the church were a person and a person was treating me this way or said these things and this was this, how would I react if the church was a person? And this to me feels like one of those things where it's like,
Yeah.
no,
Well,
person that is church, be a better person and tell
yeah.
me, yeah, we said we didn't have it. That was dishonest. We do have it. Here it
Yeah.
is. We
Well,
don't
and I think
follow it
that's
because we follow Wilford Woodruff, but we're not doing that.
I don't think that's necessarily a bad way to approach, as far as your relationship with the church. However, it's like having a relationship with a person who has several different brains, several different perspectives, and every few years it gets a new brain, and so it's just because yeah, the early I think in the what was the 1930s when this kind of came as a hot topic, and the church is like, nope, never heard of it. This pretend revelation, like really dismiss, like
Yes.
let's get rid of it, let's stomp this out, and then we're like, then several years later we're like, oh yeah, those guys were. They didn't phrase it how I would phrase it, but
Right.
you know, so yeah, it's tricky. But to me, this is the thing that that we talk about that we have fallible leaders, but then when they do these things, we're sort of like, you shouldn't have done that. Well, I'm fallible, but yeah, but you should be better. Like, okay, probably, I don't know. It's tough.
Yeah, it's fascinating. I actually asked Ben Park. He's been writing a lot about it. I
Yeah,
said, "Hey, would you like to be on an episode and elaborate why people should care about this a little bit more?" And he says, "I've done a lot. Point people to the to the things that I've written
I
and
have
talked
discovered
about."
he's done some more. I don't know how long he's been doing social media stuff, but he's got some great like Instagram stuff, Facebook stuff, where he just is on a walk and he pontificates about some certain church history thing. But yeah,
Yep, he is
yeah,
certainly going after it. He's a great follow, and he and Jana Reese and Taylor Petrie recently did a writing retreat up in like Midway or Heber, and what I wanted to know, and I should find the picture, or I should just ask them, who were those people that were on that writing retreat? Because that seems like the next generation of folks. Because
yeah.
Jana Reese, Taylor Petrie, and Ben Park are like the rising generation of this
Yeah,
next.
and can they just record it and turn it into a podcast? That would
That's
be
what I was
interesting.
thinking too. Just keep the microphones on, you guys. But I think it's more like writing focused than
Yeah.
like a particular topic focused. So
Yeah. Yeah.
so there's
Fascinating.
that.
There's
Uh,
that.
I thought that this was interesting. Elder Lange, this is the elder that was in North Carolina.
Mm.
Car jumps the curb and I think strikes his companion, and the companion just scrapes and bruises, but Elder Lange passes away. And what I didn't know about this from the original reporting is that they did not catch the person who hit him
Mm.
until
It was
just
like a hit and
recently.
run.
Yeah, it was a hit and run. I did not know that.
Wow.
Um, he currently, that is Tyzon Carney, who was arrested for this hit and run, is waiting to be extradited back to North Carolina. I didn't know that aspect of it.
Hmm.
It doesn't make it,
And to
doesn't
say
make it better.
he was under the influence of something, or
It just says that he was a fugitive
oh yeah, I guess hit and run is
from
enough
justice.
to get you in trouble. So
Yeah, and
dang.
I don't think I remember either that Elder Lange was only in North Carolina because he was waiting for a visa.
Oh
He
yeah.
was to
Mm,
be serving in the Jamaica Kingston mission, but was this just there biding his time in North Carolina?
man,
That is a sad thing
heartbreaking.
for sure. But
Heartbreaking.
yeah, kind of a follow up on that story.
Cool. So I'll go to One Meta Inc. I don't know if you ever heard of it, but they
Well,
just
I as soon as they found out the church was investing in it, I invested in it.
is that what you do? Wow,
Well,
nice.
listen,
So
if it's good enough for God, it's good enough for me.
amen, brother. On June 16th, a Nevada based technology company specializing in AI translation and transcription announced a significant agreement with the church. The church will deploy One Meta's Verbum on site product to provide live translation and transcription services at public religious meetings worldwide. The technology offers real time captions and interpretations in over 150 languages, enhancing accessibility for global church members. So everybody who is on that translation committee saying, "Oh, I guess General Conference is going to look a little different for me."
Yeah.
So that's cool.
In those translating rooms at the conference center, it's just going to be a couple cooling towers and then big old, racks and racks of
Yeah,
servers and things like
and
that.
I wonder
Eh,
if it's the type of thing where, like, when President Nelson speaks, like in Portuguese or whatever, it'll be his voice and his tone and everything. That'd be
I'm
cool.
sure. Now, let me ask you this: you're an iPhone guy, right?
No, Android for
Are you
life,
really?
baby. Yeah,
That is why we are friends.
yeah.
I'm an Android guy too. Have you done the most recent update on your Android?
I think so. I don't know. What am I missing? What am I looking for here?
What is super cool when you do phone calls in your Android now, there's a little button that pops up that says Live Assist.
Uh huh.
And so if I call you and I'm speaking Spanish, it will translate as I'm
No
speaking
way.
Spanish to you to English. You'll hear a computer voice in the earpiece of your phone that's like, "Hello, Curtis. It's great to see you today," in English if I'm speaking Spanish or vice versa.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
had a woman call. She was looking for a DJ the other day speaking Spanish, and the live assist button came up, and I went, "Boop," and it was like, "Hello. I am looking to find," and it's just like that. It is
Really?
just like that. I'm sure
That
that
is
there's a
cool.
little bit of inaccuracies.
Yeah, but you can figure it out.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah, take that, Apple iPhoners.
I think that whatever their new update is, whenever that comes for iPhone, they get it. But we've had it for a while
Oh
now,
yeah, it's
and
like
Kurt's been enjoying it.
so old news right now. So
So invest in One Meta is what you're saying, yeah.
yeah, 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 definitely. One
You
meta.
can find them on the New York Stock Exchange at ACN.
Really?
No, it actually
Okay.
trades under the marketplace ticker as One I,
Oh,
ONEI, One Meta Inc. One I,
love it.
if you want to
Now this
invest.
now this is interesting because what if you remember the days of the few general conferences where they had like people speaking in their native tongues? I wonder
Sure.
if that will come back
No,
because this is so streamlined.
nope, we killed it because the
No,
old timers said, "Why don't they speak English?"
because we don't like fun things. It's
It
just
was so great.
it was great. It
It
was
felt
great.
so awesome. It felt so worldwide. But the chairs were moved and people revolted.
Yeah.
So we went
Well,
back to
maybe
English.
in another 30 years we'll find a revelation that will come out and say,
Well, there
actually,
isn't one, Kurt. There isn't one. Oh, there, guys, there was. There
There
was.
was. We were
There
supposed to do
was.
this in
Is
English.
that
We
too
just started doing it.
critical? Is that if you were my bishop, would you be like, now come on?
Oh, no, this is small potatoes compared to
Okay. You'd let
so
me have
much
the
more
small
you could do.
potatoes.
So,
Okay.
there's so many other things that we should really talk about, Richie, that you
Like
do.
what? Like what?
I'm just
Like what?
I kid. Okay.
We should talk about this. Brian Rolap. Did you see this news story?
I guess not.
The PGA Tour announced that it hired Brian Rolap as a chief executive officer. He used to work with the NFL. He played
Oh
lacrosse at
yeah. I did
BYU.
see
He's
this.
a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
And do you know who the CEO of Live, the Live Tour is?
I don't even know what Live is.
Oh,
What is
come
it?
on.
What is this? What is
So
Live?
there's
What
the
is?
PGA Tour. I'm probably going to get this wrong, but there's a PGA Tour which has been around
Uh-huh.
forever, and then
Uh-huh.
the Live Tour came on the scene from I think Saudi Arabia or somebody. The Middle East. There was money put together, and they started like paying PGA like top PGA players enormous amounts of money to come over to their league. It was like this big drama. You got to watch Full Swing on Netflix, man. It's so
Oh,
good.
Jesus,
Anyways,
sounds terrible.
and then they have recently merged, right?
With the
So
PGA?
yes, but they're
Okay.
still not totally merged yet. They're still acting. I don't know what the future is. I'm sure they'll stay separate to some degree. But so the Scott O'Neill is
Uh-huh.
the CEO of the Live Tour. Does that name ring a bell?
No, but I'm looking at a picture of him. That guy's Mormon.
He was the president of the New York Knicks, I believe, or Madison Square Garden, I forget,
Okay.
and married a BYU girl.
Uh-huh.
Wasn't a member, and then joined the church,
There
and
he
now,
is.
yeah, now he's a member. So we have influence with the Live Tour and PGA Tour, and
We're all about golf. That's where the church
um,
deals get made, is on the golf course.
yeah, and I'm sure the church. Let's start that rumor. The church is going to buy the PGA Tour,
I think
and
they already own it.
yeah, probably. So
Yeah.
no more Sunday, Masters.
Well, that's what I was thinking. Brian Rolap, what are you doing on Sunday?
Yeah,
Guys, listen,
come
can we
on,
do the
man.
awards after 2? My ward gets out at 1. I'll be there.
Unbelievable.
Brian Rolap.
Unbelievable.
How about that? Here, okay, so we need to talk about this, and who better than the two of us?
Right. The experts.
Hey, Kurt, I got you this tie, and I want you to wear it to church on Sunday. And I'm going to give somebody else the tie, and I'm going to make them wear it to church on Sunday. There was a
Ooh.
ward, I guess, down in Saratoga Springs
Uh-huh.
that all of the women in the ward that wanted
Mm.
to got the same tie, and then was like, this will be a fun prank. And so all the
Yeah.
gentlemen wear the brand new tie at the
And they all
ward.
show up and they're like, "Hey, we're wearing the same tie." And then they realize every man is wearing the same tie, right?
And it was a huge thing on Father's Day for these folks, but also there was a Catholic church, I think, in Texas, where they all bought the dad's golf shirts, and in a greater number, it continues to be, I guess, more humorous. It's 200 guys all wearing the same polo shirt, and they're, the Catholics do it right in that they eat right after every single church meeting. So there's a big, group of people, and they're eating and milling about, and they've all got the same golf shirt on. But what are we doing? Why is that the new thing? Why are we doing the, hey, this is a secret thing?
Well, I
Isn't
think
that
it shows
funny? Is
you
it fun?
just how quickly men will fold to their wives suggesting something to wear. Like if my wife walked in the room like, "Hey, I got you this. I'd like you to wear it today." Like, okay, whatever. Just so I don't have to think about what I'm going to wear today.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. Because two things. One though, one is that funny, or is now everyone going to do that, and now we have beaten it
I think
already?
it's there. I
And
think we're done with it, folks.
okay,
Along with gender reveal parties, I think we're
yeah.
done, and also missionary gathering, mission
No,
call
we
openings.
are
I
not
hate
done
those.
with that. The season is in
No,
in
we got to
full.
be done with it.
I just can't
I
wait to
think there's a
DJ.
revelation somewhere that says you should open your mission call in a private, reverent place.
It wasn't a revelation; it was said from the pulpit, and we all went, "Yeah, we're not doing that."
Yeah,
We're
homecomings. Of course,
yeah.
can do
Uh,
homecomings, farewells. You're coming to my house after. We're
I
gonna
mean,
eat ridiculous amounts of food,
we
and
don't call them homecomings;
yeah,
they are coming back home, and that will be happening today at 1:30. Uh, but the other thing with the shirt and all that stuff, can you imagine for 2 seconds the disaster, the judgment, the um upheaval that would be if men in a ward tried to buy something that all the women would wear.
That would be
Can
tough.
you imagine for a second, even if it was something so basic as like we got you all corsages or something that was just an accessory?
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely not acceptable.
Maxi skirts.
What is a
Here we
maxi skirt?
Isn't that what they used to wear like 10 years ago? I don't know.
What
It's
is a
like yoga
maxi
pants.
skirt?
Isn't
Okay.
that you?
No. Oh yeah, maxi skirt, sure. No,
Okay.
listen, if we to your point, if we bought everyone yoga pants, nope,
Yeah.
could not. I
Couldn't
mean,
do it.
we
And
we buy we buy
this goes
everyone in the ward. We buy everyone in the ward a plant, and they are furious. Or a book that increases spirituality, or anything. It is the sides on this is ridiculous. Where it's like, isn't that funny? Men don't have the place to be able to do something like that.
and
On the
this
other side,
is a perfect example of my contention that there is no patriarchy in our church. It is fully a feminist church. Okay, like the women are in charge, regardless of who sits at the front of the room. Women are on the show. Okay, come at me.
yeah, these comments are for Kurt. You can
That's right.
this week in Mormons. What is it? Contacted this
Contacted
week in
this week in Mormons, just like
yeah.
contacted the cultural hall.
Yeah, I do not support the comments that Kurt just made.
Hey, I'll stand behind it. I got receipts. I got proof. Okay.
All
All
right,
right.
all right. What news
Mhm.
story do you want to go to next?
Oh, I know that you got the temple taker, but we'll just quickly say that the what is it? The oh, I just lost it here.
Cody, Wyoming.
The
The
other
Supreme
temple,
Court in Cody, Wyoming said,
the
"Fine, build your
Virginia
101 tower."
the Virginia temple has been announced. It's coming. It's coming. Where is it?
I
Groundbreaking
don't.
Winchester, Virginia temple. The first presidency announced on June 16th that the Winchester, Virginia temple groundbreaking will be held on August 9th. So
The
Elder Danes is showing up.
truck
Yep.
full of dirt is on its way. We've got the
Yep.
carpets that we're going to put over the ground. We will do
That's
that
right.
groundbreaking
It's going to
ceremony.
be awesome. So there's a tease, a temple ticker tease for you. Um,
Uh, I thought this joke was particularly hilarious, and social media did not reward it as such. BYU is named, at least for those in NCAA sports, as Steeplechase U,
that's
because
right.
the steeplechase runners at BYU, it is countless like champions. So most recently, James Corrigan, a junior at BYU, won. He was an Olympic team qualifier, returned missionary from the Arizona Tempe mission. Anyway, he won the steeplechase. And Josh McAdams back in 2006 did, and Kyle Perry in 2009, and Kenneth Rooks in 2023, and Courtney Wayman in 2022. So these all under Ed Eyestone. Now, I thought it was particularly funny that it was like, of course it's steeplechase that we would be the best at, running towards the steeple. Nope,
Right.
social media rejected that as a joke.
May we all run towards the steeples in our lives.
Yeah, right.
Cross
Symbolic.
stitch that. That's perfect.
If it were cross chase, we'd run away from it.
We give it to Notre Dame.
Yeah,
It's
we'd give it
yours. You
somewhere
own it.
else. Or we'd run and we'd say, "We celebrate the life, not the death."
That's right.
Nobody appreciates a good
Nobody.
steeplechase
You
joke.
know, in general, you're not appreciated enough, Richie. Let me just publicly state that.
Thank you, thank you for saying that. What else should we talk
Elder
about?
Karen concluded his ministry to the Philippines.
Uh-huh.
He concluded a 10-day ministry to the Philippines on January 18th. During the visit, Elder Karen met with thousands of church members, local leaders, government officials, and interfaith representatives. He emphasized the Savior's love, the power of repentance, and the importance of family and community service.
I
So,
they
go on.
oftentimes will report about those in the church news, and it's like, this is where they went and this is what they did, and I love it. I actually, uh, full transparency, I love to know where the leaders are, both the
Yeah,
apostles as well as the female leadership of the church,
yeah.
when they're
President
ministering,
Nelson
what
is
they're
at
doing.
home, Richie. He's at
What's
home.
that?
President Nelson is at home. He
Yeah,
needs to be at
yeah,
home right now.
yeah, yeah, close to home, where medical staff can take care of him.
That's right.
He's almost 101. 101. We can allow him that. But what I wish, and I know it's not the case, But as you mentioned, the headline, Elder Kieran concludes his. What is the headline? Read it to me again.
Concludes his ministry to the Philippines.
Yeah, what I wish, and it is not the case, I wish that he would be like going about his business, and then all of a sudden he just sort of pushes himself away from the table and goes, "I'm done," and then goes and gets on the plane.
Like,
Like
I'm
I,
done with the apostleship, or just
no,
with
no,
his
no,
faith?
no, no,
Okay.
no, 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 just done with the ministry, right? He concludes it. It's
Oh,
like,
and we are done
hey,
now.
yeah, okay, we're giving the blessing here. We're gonna go visit. We'll call the stake
Roll the
president here,
credits.
and then he just sort of looks at everyone and goes, I think we're done here, and then goes to the airport and
Oh my
leaves.
goodness.
This is
Oh,
concluded. It is finished.
it's done.
I want to talk about this because I think it's interesting. Sister Wives Cody Brown recalls his days being Mormon naughty before first
Ooh.
marriage with Mary.
Ouch. Wow,
Cody's former
wow.
wife, Christine Brown, was also questioned about his sexual experience with Robin prior to marriage. So if you don't know Cody Brown, these are the folks that are on the TV show I've Got Lots of Wives. What's it called? I can't remember.
How the Sister Wives, isn't?
Sister
Yeah.
Wives. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Richie, do you know how long this has been going on?
Polygamy
No.
since before John Taylor made the no, what?
No, like, what was it? I just looked it up here. It's like 16 seasons.
Yeah.
Let's see. 15 years. Oh, sorry. 19 seasons
Yep.
on TLC. I mean, at this point, I mean, let's be honest, like in marriage, even with multiple wives, I assume, though I only have one, you
Sure.
kind of have the same arguments over and over again. So this is like, all right, we need more content. Let's make something up like Mormon Naughty. Anyways.
Yeah. Yeah. Gotta be able to bring people to the show because the show's still on. Uh, I knew that it was at least 10 years because I remember when I lived where I lived with my first wife, there were some of these folks kind of around. So I knew it was at least 10 years. When you start marking time by the wives that you've had, that
The
is
way
when.
you say that is so funny. Yeah,
Yeah.
I peer out my window and, honey, those folks are still around.
Yeah, they're still here. Mormon naughty, though, I think is such a dumb term.
Yes.
But it does make me think of like the things that we say are naughty that are just sort of and they may be naughty, but like that are so uniquely Mormon, like talking to people that aren't raised in the church and you're like, "Oh, heavy petting." And they're like,
Right.
"I'm sorry, what?"
Petting? Like, you have a dog or
Yeah,
what's
like
going on?
what even is this? Or like any variation of like sparking or Levi lovin' or any of those things that people will talk about, I think is just like that is the very definition of Mormon naughty.
Mormon Naughty. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I
And
I I also like that it sounds dangerously like Illuminati. So like
the
maybe it's like a
Mormon not
secret group of
Illuminati.
people doing things that they should not be. Oh, are you a part of the Mormonati?
So you want to give away the lead? Like, what is Mormon Naughty according to Cody Brown?
I mean, they'd kiss and hug, but they didn't have any actual intercourse. That's Mormon naughty.
Yeah. So it turns out you don't have to go see your bishop for Mormon Naughty. So
No?
I mean, kissing and hugging. I think that's all. As long as you're over 16, of course.
Kissing and hugging
Hugging
and
and
keep your 2 feet on the floor and then you're just fine. That's all that you have to do. Hoo hoo. Yeah, Mormon naughty.
Mormon Naughty.
Uh, I know that you love the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives.
Oh yeah, I can't get enough. Actually, I've
Yeah,
had
huge
enough.
fan.
Haven't even
Have you
watched them.
watched any of season 2?
No, I haven't watched any of season 1.
You didn't watch any of
This
season
is
1?
why I bring in the big guns, the twin sisters
Yeah.
that will give their
It
commentary.
it
But go ahead.
surprises me that just to be aware of what's going on, you haven't watched some of it. That does surprise me, I'll be honest with you. A
Yeah,
little bit. It surprises me because you
yeah.
talk with people about these things, and so it would seem to me that you would at least be aware of it.
I
And now
don't feel
you'll,
like I talk about these. I'm only here for Nadine.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
I mean, I'm not looking for a regular spot on This Week in Mormons. I
yeah.
just happen to be here more often than
You're
not.
like, I've been looking for an off ramp since we talked about Nadine, and you just keep talking, Richie. Uh, that no, but I would think that you would. I would think that you would kind of
Okay.
at
Well,
least be more aware
I'm
of
a
it than
busy
it
guy.
seems like you
Yeah.
are.
Mhm. I did watch several various documentaries about the Ocean Gate submarine.
Oh yeah, no, I watched that one
And,
about the guy who's just so
yeah.
proud that he's like, "No, we got this. We'll figure it out." And then he implodes on himself and dies and
Also,
kills others.
the Mortician on Max. Don't sleep on that one.
Okay.
As
Okay.
somebody who actually worked for a mortuary, it was a fun ride for sure.
You have the demeanor of a mortuarian.
Yes, your
Yeah.
loved one is now secure in our care, and
Yeah.
they'll
Mortician
be in
is
the
the word I
freezer.
was looking
And
for.
so, yeah. Mhm.
Secret Lives, though. Let's go there.
Yeah,
Come
let's go
on.
there. Tell me about it. What's going on?
Taylor Frankie Paul put out a video the other day that said, hey, maybe I'd like to be your next bachelorette on The Bachelor, so
Oh,
she could try and find. Here's the thing: were she to be the bachelorette on the season of The Bachelor, like trying to find the Bachelor, that would be so much attention for the church and
right.
a train wreck I could not unwatch. So
Well, man, the Hulu executives are probably like, "What, a spinoff, another Mormon thing we can do?" Like,
yeah.
let's fund it, and they would do it where it would be purely Latter Day Saints, right? You get your,
Oh,
oh yeah, I left a polygamy cult here. You got
sure.
that guy. You got the guy who's like a returned missionary and unsure about his faith. You got the guy that was like a former bishop but divorced. I don't know.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. They probably would lean heavily into that. I'm though of the mind that any publicity is good publicity on
Yeah,
some way
for sure. But please,
because we
Hulu,
have
leave
the
us alone. Thank
discussions.
you.
We have the discussions about those things when we have that happening, and we don't otherwise.
It's true. We'll take it.
The church buys 46 acres in Maui for the temple. Did you see this story?
That's a pretty penny.
Yep. $20 million. That's just the land. When I did that episode with Alan Collier, who you also had on leading Saints, but mine was far more interesting.
Sure, whatever. Mhm.
Just different topics. I'm completely giving you a hard time. Your episode with him was because he'd been a leader for a long time, right? Is that what it was?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, he was like one of the leaders. You were talking like with how leadership has changed over 30 years or something like that. And I talked to him about being a builder for the church. It's interesting to me when you look at how much the land costs and how much we roughly know like these temples cost. I mean, temples are probably like between 75 and 100 million total out the door
Yeah,
between infrastructure, land.
but that land will appreciate, so
Sure.
throw it in
I'm
the
not coming.
portfolio.
Yeah, I'm not coming towards the investment. I'm just saying I don't know that I'd ever put a relative price tag on what a temple costs, but
Yeah.
between probably I guess in some places like Cody, Wyoming, that temple's not $100 million, but I would bet on average it's probably like 50, 60 million on average.
Wow.
Don't you think that's pretty
I
significant?
I have no, like, point of view to guess
Well,
on
look at your
pricing for real
house. How
estate.
much did your house cost?
Well, in
Now,
Utah County, a couple million, my friend,
no, it
on
did
on
not.
a podcaster's
No, it did
salary.
not.
Okay.
No, but I I don't understand why you're being resistant towards this. Your house
No,
cost $500,000,
it
probably
costs
600,000. Okay,
$620,000.
thank you for sharing that.
Mhm.
620. So this is 100 times your home. What the cost of your home would be.
Yeah.
So there's perspective. Why could you not do that just a
I
second
can't
ago?
because I'm not good at math, Richie, okay? Thanks for bringing that up. My childhood wounding. Oh,
uh, no. I just thought that was interesting. I had no idea. Never put that kind of thing in my brain. What else you got? What
that's all I
else you
got.
got?
That's it. There's
That
nothing else
no,
of
there's
note.
more. Come
What?
on. There's
Okay,
more. There's things like
Chilean saints celebrate church centennial. How about that? On
yeah.
June 18th, Elder Stevenson joined Latter-day Saints in Santiago, Chile for special centennial celebration marking 100 years since the dedication of South America for the preaching of the gospel. The event
Uh
featured music, dance, and nationwide broadcast reaching over 10,000 viewers and participants. So
there's this in
awesome.
England. We don't hear about the church and humanitarian projects very often in England, but Elder Cook visited with the Felix Project. It's an
Oh, yeah,
organization
this is good.
devoted to alleviating hunger across London, England. Uh, Elder Cook toured and learned about the work that's being done through the Felix Project. The organization gathers surplus food from suppliers, restaurants, farms, and grocery stores in order to redistribute across the greater London area to individuals and families in need. I thought that was significant. Why didn't you want to talk about that? You hate the
That's
people of
true. It wasn't
London?
on my list. Okay.
Okay, it's in the thing
Um,
I sent you. How about the fact that we're giving new furniture to the folks in Southern California that's allowing them to have some dignity? Church's donation of surplus furniture helps Hope the Mission get those experiencing homelessness into housing. A donation of furniture and appliances from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints will help bring those experiencing homelessness into housing opportunities in Los Angeles, California. We donated 6 long semi-trucks full of couches, fridges, microwaves, beds, chairs, dressers, and more. And you know who unloaded it? And this is not a joke. The missionaries. The missionaries unloaded the semi-trucks.
Got to get those service hours in.
We're not a moving organization, except for when it comes to semi-trucks, but they did that.
Speaking of Elder Cook, he recently spoke at the Missionary Training Center for the Mission Leaders Seminar of the Seminar for New Mission Leaders, and he reported that 2024 saw over 308,000 convert baptisms, about 50,000 more than in 2023, and our highest number in nearly 25 years. This momentum has continued in 2025, with every region in the world seeing at least 20% increase in convert baptisms in the first quarter compared to the previous year. So let's get the retention engine started, because we lose a lot of those people, unfortunately.
Missionaries sharing the gospel on a weekly radio show down in Ecuador. These 2 missionaries are able to be on the radio with this local radio thing. Sometimes the mission president is on. Sometimes they just testify of the Book of Mormon. Sometimes they talk about general conference talks. They're able to share where the church is. I thought that was particularly interesting. I'm not sure why you didn't want to talk about that. The first ever YSA conference for people that are deaf or hard of hearing is going to be taking place.
That's pretty cool.
A 5-day conference in Riverside, California, August 14th through the 18th. You can find a link for that in the show notes if that's something that would apply to you to be able to go and to do. I think that's significant, the way that we are trying to be inclusive as a church. Not sure why you didn't want to talk about that. That we're helping people in Western Maryland that are grappling with the aftermath of devastating floods. We brought in food for those people. I don't know why you didn't want to talk about that.
Boring. But I'm glad they got food. They really
me too. Food. And then this is the last one that we'll share, because then we're at an hour, and I'm a big fan of closing things on time. And don't forget, you've got the outro you've got to play as we make our way out of this thing.
Yes. Rich, you sent me a file I'm supposed to play.
The headline of this particular news story, this is about Elder Matt Bracken and Sister Nylene Bracken. The headline is "Senior Missionaries Lend a Hand," and you're thinking, oh my gosh, that's so sweet that these people, the Brackens, Elder and Sister Bracken, they're serving a mission and they're lending a hand. And the headline continues, "Senior missionaries lend a hand and a leg in Samoa." These are missionaries that are providing prosthetics for the people of Samoa. And I think that's the greatest headline ever. And you just walked right past it.
I mean, am I right?
It's an arm and a leg. You walked right past it. We're lending a hand and a leg.
Somebody in some newsroom is so proud of themselves right now.
Yes.
Like, did you see this headline?
Be. And they should be. All right. So you ready to play us out?
Well, I mean, I don't know what this file is going to play. So, but I do want to remind people that, hey, we could use some help over here at This Week in Mormons, because we got to catch up to the Culture Hall. And so please become a patron we'll put the links in patreon.com/This Week in Mormons.
How much did you just want to say a Patreon saint because you listen to the Cultural Hall? It's a great thing we came up with.
Yeah, be a patron saint for This Week in Mormons. Yeah. Come at me with any disagreement you have with my opinion. I'm open to a good debate at contact@thisweekinmormons.com, because we get so much spam there. It's always fun to get a legitimate email. So
yeah, contact@theculturalhall.com. If you didn't like what we said, please don't. I don't have the time to deal with it this week. If you have a guest suggestion, that's fine.
All right.
Hold on. We hope that this, well, let me tell you what this is. Yeah. So we opened the show with it, and we're going to close the show with it. It's the song from the children's songbook, "I'm So Glad When Daddy Comes Home." The song is actually called "Daddy's Homecoming." It is pianist and jazz singer Emily Susan Pack, member of the church. And it's her and her dad playing the piano. And so we hope that this episode has nourished and strengthened your body.
Yeah. And if you're sick this week, come next week.
And then when the time comes, you'll be able to travel home in safety. In the meantime, we'll be saving a seat for you
on the back row
of the
Cultural Hall. Play us out, Jimmy. Oh, yeah.
Save me a seat, it's sure to be neat on the back row. We really gotta go on the Cultural Hall show.